June 5th, 2025, in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. Adequate notice of this regular meeting of the Zoning Board of the Township of Franklin has been provided. Board members, applicants, professionals, and members of the public, please speak directly into the microphones so our recording secretary can properly process minutes. Applicants and professionals, please fill out the sheet on the table when you've completed your testimony. Can we call the roll, please?
Okay, Cheryl Bethia, Robert Shepard, Faraz Khan, and Kunal Lakia asked to be excused. Richard Prokanik?
Here.
Basim Verdas?
Here.
Alan Rich?
Here.
Gary Rosenthal?
Here.
Michael Doherty?
Here.
Shapendu Singh?
Here.
And Chairman Thomas.
Here. Minutes, regular meeting, April 17th, BOA 0417.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, Basim.
2025.
Basim, you can't vote.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
So it's Gary was the first. If somebody else could please second it.
I'll second.
Who said that?
Rich Prokanik.
I very rarely hear your voice. Rich Prokanik?
Yes.
Alan Rich?
Yes.
Gary Rosenthal?
Yes.
Michael Doherty?
Yes.
And Chairman Thomas.
Yes. Regular meeting, 5/8/2025.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Richard Prokanik?
Yes.
Basim Verdas?
Yes.
Alan Rich?
Yes.
Gary Rosenthal?
Yes.
Michael Doherty?
Yes.
And Chairman Thomas.
Yes. We can move on down to the hearing section at this point. Manjit Singh and Ravinder
Is this mic on?
Kaur, ZBA 24-00011, site plan with use variance and C variance in which the applicant is proposing to convert the existing repair garage into a convenience store, 339 Elizabeth Ave, Somerset, block 493.01, lot 1 in the R10 zone. This is going to be carried to June 19th, 2025, with, it says, further notification needed. We need to add anything else to that? Okay. The next application, 655 MIZ LLC, ZBA 24-00020, preliminary and final major site plan with C variances in which the applicant is proposing construction of a 30,917 square foot addition to the existing building at 655 Howard Avenue, Somerset, block 528.04, lots 161.03, 162, 163.01 in a BI zone. This is carried to September 4th, 2025, with no further notification needed.
And the first one has no further notification needed. That's a typo. It is no further notification.
Okay.
So it's on the record. Thank you.
The first one that we will hear, Mohammed Butt. This is a variance in which the application is requesting to install 40 square foot sign at 3059 Route 27 Somerset, block 34.01, lot 32.03 in the NB zone.
Yes.
I think we need to
Just swear you in, sir. If you can raise your right hand. Do you
Please make sure
swear?
your mic is on. If it's red, it's not on. Make sure it's green. Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give before this board is the truth, the whole
Yes.
truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
If you can just repeat your name and spell your last name for the record,
sure.
please.
First name is Mohammed, Mohammad. Last name is Boot, Butt.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to give us an overview of what this is about?
So I'm requesting a variance for having a sign in front of the building because according to the law, because there is no door in the front of the building, I cannot have a sign on top. but the door is on the side. The reason the door is not there is because of the utility is there in front. And this is a side of the building which is facing the street. So the visibility is only from that side. I have a picture if I would like me to show it to you.
And Mr. Chairman, in the TRC memo, there was the exhibit showing the proposed sign on the first page if the board happens to have that on their screen.
We'll just mark this as Exhibit A1, please.
Okay.
That's the same picture that's on here.
Mr. Butt, you have to sit back down. Any conversation you have has to be on the record.
So I'll just explain to the board the nature, again, just to clarify a little bit what Mr. Abut just stated. The way our ordinance works is typically you're allowed to have one sign for retail. You're allowed to have a second sign if you either have like a side entrance or a rear entrance. In fact, some of the stores in this small shopping center have a sign in the back, facing the parking lot, and they have a sign facing the street because the way that the building is laid out, they happen to have an entrance on both the street side and the parking lot side. This site, or this tenant space, I should say, his particular tenant space only has doors facing the rear parking lot. So the way our ordinance is written, since he would like to have a sign on the building facing Route 27, technically under our ordinance, it's not permitted because you can only have that second sign if it's on a second customer entrance. So that's just to give you the full clarification.
Thank you.
And then also the size is a variance.
Well, I think, yeah, actually, Ms. Root,
No,
can you clarify that?
I'm not doing the sign where it's still going to be 30. I'm not doing the 40 inch. Yeah.
So we don't
So it's
have-
under the code. That's under the code.
It's only the one variance then.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't clarify that, because I think when he was here last week, kind of off the record, he was saying that, but now on the record, you're proposing 30 square feet, so you're not asking for a sign area variance.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that's the question I had, because he didn't advertise for that variance, so I assumed he was not pursuing it.
I think the TRC report still says 40 square feet, so.
Because that's what he originally applied for.
Yeah.
So now, again, he's amended his application to eliminate that variance.
Is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, it's just for the visibility of the business. If I don't have a sign there, nobody would know there's a business there.
Any other board questions?
Sorry, can you just, how come that space doesn't have the front entrance facing 27? I missed that.
So the way that the site's laid out, the building is up on the, closer to the street. The parking lot's in the rear of the site. So I think most of the stores have their customer entrances on the rear, to the parking lot. And a few of the other tenant spaces, I think the parking lot, the sidewalk must wrap around, and they happen to have customer entrances also facing 27. So because they have that second customer entrance, they're allowed to have that second sign. This particular tenant space doesn't have that, just doesn't have that second customer entrance. So I guess the intent of the ordinance is that you don't have a sign on every single side of the building. If you happen to be on a corner, you can have one on each entrance. Sometimes you have them, in the front and the back. You can have them over each. That's the way our ordinance is written.
I have to add, we had this situation with the shopping center on Pierce Street, where the rear of the stores is actually fronting on Pierce Street, and the entrance to the stores are on the inside toward the shopping center. And every store in that section of the shopping center has been permitted to put a sign on the outside wall, which is actually the rear of the building, but it faces Pierce Street. So I think this seems to be a similar kind of situation?
I think it's similar. I think it's a little different in that, and I remember that application. I think on that application, actually none of those tenant spaces even had a rear, a rear entrance.
Yeah, they don't have any
So
entrance.
And I think the facade of that building, it kind of looks like the rear of the building. Here, just the way this building is laid out, it looks like the front, and you also have a few of the other tenant spaces have signs. So to the left of his tenant space, you have, 2 or 3 of the other tenants. I think it's 2 of the other tenants have signs over their space, and then this one wouldn't. And the reason I say that is, in my opinion, it wouldn't look really too out of place because again, you already have that pattern of these other tenant spaces having a sign.
Okay, any comments, questions?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have any other comments. I think he explained pretty much what the reason for having the sign there in the front towards the street is.
Okay, then we'll open to the public. Is there anyone here who would like to make a statement or ask a question about this application? Then we'll close. Does anybody feel they need any more information? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion. We approve ZBA 25-00011 for a 30-foot sign.
I'll second.
Richard Prokanic,
Yes.
Basim Verdas,
Yes.
Alan Rich,
Yes.
Gary Rosenthal,
Yes.
Michael Doherty,
Yes.
Shapindo Singh,
Yes.
and Chairman Thomas.
Yes.
Say that right?
Okay, good
Thank
luck
you.
with it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anya James, ZBA 25-00010, C variance in which the applicant seeks a variance from the impervious surface limitation of 25% for the placement of an in-ground pool in the backyard of 22 Patton Drive, Somerset, Block 366, Lot 16 in the R20 zone.
If you can just raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give before this board is truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Can you just repeat your name and spell your last name for the record, please?
Anya James. Last name is James.
Thank you.
Okay, would you give us an overview what you're asking for?
So today I'm asking for a C variance to allow the construction of an in-ground pool in my backyard. Currently, I'm over the previous coverage. I'm at 25% without the pool, and including the pool, I'll be at 28.
Okay. Is there anything, do you have other, I'm looking at the map and see if there is any structure or anything you could eliminate, maybe some impervious coverage?
So currently, there's a shed that I purchased from Home Depot. It's not fixed to the property. If that's what needs to go, then I'm willing to remove it. It's in the far left corner.
Is there concrete underneath of it?
No,
No?
it's just a skid that I put
Okay.
on top just to keep it level.
You have a concrete pad that leads from the house to the proposed pool?
Yes, that's the concrete pad that was there when I purchased. Nothing that
It's existing?
it's existing. Yes.
Is there any way it could be made conveniently smaller so it functions, but maybe,
So in conversation with the pool company, they're going to chop up most of it in the construction part of it, and then some of it will be gone, and that will be the outskirt of the pool.
I guess it may not amount to 3% anyway, but I guess the only other question would be, is there any thought to making the pool slightly smaller?
That's an option.
So one thing, just to clarify, is the way, again, the way our ordinance works, the pool, the water surface doesn't count towards the impervious. What does count is the concrete, basically sidewalk apron around it. So, I mean, if the pool was made smaller, the sidewalk around it would be a little bit less. But you're not going to make that much of a difference in that percentage by making the pool smaller.
Just covering all the bases?
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure you have all the information, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have any other feedback from the DRC we should have on the record?
Well, you know, this is not directed at Ms. James by any stretch, but just I guess I'll say a warning, which is we've had a problem lately with pool companies where an applicant will come in and what they're proposing here is the pool and I guess a 3-foot apron around it. And the pool company basically says, oh, let's build this big concrete patio around it too. And that puts them over the impervious. You've had a few applications over the last few years. I can tell you of the 2 or 3 you've had, we've had to work with other people to modify their patio. So I'll just say, if the board ends up approving this variance, before the construction department issues a certificate of completion, you're going to have to get an as-built survey.
Okay.
Meaning a survey company's going to have to come out and survey it. And if there's a bigger patio,
From what's no.
I'm just saying,
Okay,
just
no.
letting you know if the pool company tries to sell you on that,
Oh,
you need
no.
to tell them this is, if the board approves it, you're limited to this, because then you're going to come back to the board. And I'm not sure. I'm not so sure the board's going to be too happy to see you again. So, just letting you know. And I also took the opportunity to just let the board know that this is one of the issues that we're dealing with.
The other thing that would affect you too is that you're over the limit. So, should it be approved, there's absolutely basically nothing else you can put in the yard.
Right.
You have to make sure people also understand that too. You know, it's pool this summer and another bigger, larger shed the next time. There's no room for no impervious surface room for anything else.
Understood.
Any questions? No. We'll open to the public. Is there anyone out there who would like to ask a question or make a statement? Doesn't seem to be, so no other comments. We'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve ZBA. Do I have the, hold on a minute, do I have the right one here? Yeah, ZBA 250010, with the condition that the PVC shed be taken down. And
Did we make that a condition?
I'll second.
well, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Let's hold off a second. Did we make it? We just talked about it, didn't we?
We talked about it. I don't think we made it a condition.
Okay, so strike that. We'll just approve the application as is.
I'll second. I'll second.
You could make it a condition if you want. That's what you're looking to do.
Yeah. So the person who makes the motion,
You can make
a
a
second, then
condition.
you can deliberate.
And then you can have
Oh, okay.
vote on that.
Okay, so
versus
it's-
leave that motion with
Okay.
that
Motion's
condition.
been made, seconded, so now we can deliberate. Do we want to have her take the shed or not?
If it doesn't have a concrete pad underneath, I don't see the reason to have her remove it, but
How big is the shed?
I don't want to give a size. It's really small. I have rakes, just summer stuff that's in there. I brought it from Home Depot for about $500. It's not big at all.
The only question is, how much difference it makes.
I mean, just from the scale, looking at the plan, I mean, it looks like, I'd say it's easily less than 10 by 10.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at the scale on that plan, I mean, it could be smaller than that.
It says the shed and pavers are 94 square feet. So it's
There you
less
go.
than 10 by 10. My
Tiny.
opinion is it's a shed. You need some place to put your net and everything for the pool. I'm cool with it. I'm just saying.
I'd just be happy that there's an understanding at this point, considering the size of it. There's really nothing else that goes on the property.
Okay. So my motion stands. Seconded?
Okay, Brian, they've deliberated, so I can go ahead and use Alan first and Gary second to leave everything the way it is and accept the pool, correct?
Yep.
Nothing else needs to be voted on?
No.
Okay. Richard Prokanic?
Yes.
Wasim Verdas?
Yes.
Alan Rich?
Yes.
Gary Rosenthal?
Yes.
Michael Doherty?
Yes.
Shubhendu Singh?
Yes.
And Chairman Thomas?
Yes. Okay. Capital, 1784 Capital Holdings.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
ZBA 210009, remand of application from the court, D1 use variance, preliminary and final major site plan with VC variances in which the applicant is seeking approval for construction of 125,335 square foot self-storage facility at 1613 Route 27, Somerset, Block 85, lots 58, 59.02 in the GB zone. We have been instructed by the judge to provide backing for more backing for our original resolution approving this application, which has been done. Everyone has copies of it. There is no hearing, no discussion or anything. If there are no questions or any comments, we will entertain a motion on the new resolution that was sent to you. You don't even need to say anything on this because all of the support, all the details, and all of the backing is in the new resolution. This is hopefully what the judge was asking for. So again, if there are no questions or discussion, we just need a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the new Capital Holdings LLC ZBA 210009 for approval.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay. Richard Prokanic?
Yes.
Alan Rich?
Yes.
Gary Rosenthal?
Yes.
Chairman Thomas?
Yes. Now, just for clarification, this resolution goes back to the judge, correct?
Yep.
And we've done everything we've been asked to do, so our part of it is over with. It's an approved, from our point of view, it's a resolution approving a project with sufficient support. Now, if there are no other questions or anything, then we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.